Okay. So this house, when was this house built? Like how much before the city?
It was built in 1835.
Okay.
We're showing you the year 1860 here, so that really is just before the beginning of the war. It starts in April of '61. In 1860, a man named Henry Carroll was the owner, and he's the fifth generation of his family to live on this land. So the Carrolls have been wealthy landowners in Maryland for a long time. In 1860, he's living here with his wife, 5 children, and there are about 65 slaves on this plantation. He's growing tobacco and wheat, and the slaves are providing all the labor in the fields and inside the house too. You know, they're doing the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry. In the fields, tobacco is a horrible crop to work with. It's very labor intensive. Everything had to be done by hand. If you look at our field over here, when we plant it, we'll have about 100 to 110 plants there. One slave on this plantation was responsible for up to 2,000 plants. So it was a really, really terrible life for them here. They worked under the gang system, which meant that someone would wake you up and say, get to work, and then you worked until someone finally said, okay, you can stop working now. You know, on other plantations, they would use the task system, which meant that you were assigned a certain amount of work during the day, and when you finished your work, you were done. So you then had time to grow a kitchen garden for your own family, or, you know, make things that you could trade to get goods for your own family. So that was a little bit better.
Okay.
So
how was this house involved with like the Civil War? Did it here, trying to figure out how to say this.
Yeah, I don't know that it was occupied at any time. We don't know that. We do know that even though this house, Maryland, was part of the Union, it was a border state, but remained part of the Union. Henry Carroll's oldest son actually fought for the Confederates during the war because they believed in slavery. They wanted to keep their slaves.
Okay.
So, but yeah, in terms of it, you know, I don't know that it was near a battle or that it was ever occupied. You know, it was in the Union, so.
Okay, so it was in the Union, but some people who wanted their slaves and were still part of the Union would still fight.
Right, and you had plantations like this one in the southern part of the state where there was slavery, and those plantation owners, you know, sided with the South, even though they were living in the North.
Okay, so do you think that so you're saying that some families that owned slaves that were part of the Union that didn't leave fought for the Confederates. So if they actually had won, what do you think would have happened?
If the South would have won?
Yes.
Well, then life would have gone on for them as it always had.
Okay.
You know, they wouldn't have had to, you know, and as it was, once the slaves were freed, he tried to hire some of them back. He tried to hire some people to work for him. Well, that was cutting into his profits.
Yeah.
You know, because then he had to pay wages, and he couldn't hire enough people to keep the plantation running the way it had. So by the time he died in 1880, he had lost everything pretty much. They even had to sell the house. It couldn't get passed down to his children. They had to sell the house to pay off fertilizer debts.
Wow.
So one of his daughters bought it to try to keep it in the family. They held on to it for about 10 years, and then they sold it out of the family altogether.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that helped.
It did. Thank you.